As you can see, the score is 32 for the class of 2012 to 18 for the class of 2013 and 2014. It may look like a very lopsided score right now, but remember that the class of 2012 got a 10-point bonus for everybody speaking on their team, which the All-Stars of 2013 and 2014 have yet to get. All right, if they have 6 people who need to speak, if all 6 of those people speak, they will get a 10-point bonus as well. All right, 10 minutes. We're starting off with 2012. You get the floor. You are representing. You are representing. Here we go. Let's get it on.
To begin, the representatives of 2012 believe that W.E.B. Du Bois is W.E.B. Du Bois is his philosophy was the most visionary because education is the key to any success. You do need to know how to do everything. And for you to say otherwise is very hypocritical due to the fact that the educational institution that you do attend is all about, you know, learning more, and it's all about academics.
I can see where you're coming from, but I would like to disagree with you because I believe that Booker T. Washington's philosophy was the most realistic at this moment because he believed in basically them getting jobs first before they do their before education. And I know in our package on the first page there's his speech. I'm not going to do a quote, but he's basically talking about a ship that was lost at sea. And they're asking all these other ships for help and for water, and they're telling them to go put your bucket down into the water. And when they finally do, they actually get water. He's basically saying that we should use what resources we have and what are available to us right now, because not all African Americans were able to get the basic education right now. And especially with the racial segregation that was going on, a lot of the African American schools were being burnt down, so they weren't able to get the basic education.
So imagine being succumbed by slavery for more than 100 years. You experience your father being beaten. You go nights without eating, and you are mistreated. You are humiliated in front of whites, and you are taunted until you die. When you get out of slavery, your first thought would be to find a job, to get an education, and to develop socially and to develop economically. You don't want to stay in that conformed state for the rest of your life because you experienced being conformed for so long. He advocated for immediate development because he was tired of seeing blacks in the same state. We were in slavery for more than 200 years. He made his way through college. He went to Harvard, and he's a prime example of change. He didn't use the excuse, okay, we've been in slavery, so I'm just going to do nothing for the rest of my life. He used slavery and used it as a means to progress. And the common misconception is that Mr. Du Bois was racist. He was not racist. However, he did believe in black supremacy.
Well, I just want to say that Washington, actually, to agree with my teammate, that Washington was realistic to that time and also to today. Like, in that time, 1900s, the people, Washington was hoping that people was, I'm sorry, it's something
Okay. I think that I feel as though W.E.B. Du Bois was more of a visionary than Booker T. Washington. W.E.B. Du Bois, he he had the mental intellect, the boys, he had the mental intellect to look beyond what was just going on around him. He referenced African civilizations and Egyptian civilizations and brought that and incorporated their ideas with the things that they did, the type of education that they sought out, and brought that back to his community. In the dialogue with the white friend, W.E.B. Du Bois writes, I freely admit that according to white writers, white teachers, white historians, and white molders of public opinion, nothing ever happened in the world of any importance that could not or should not be labeled white. How silly. I placed black iron welding and village democracy and yellow printing and state building side by side with white representative government and the steam engine and hesitantly give the palm to the first. I hand the first vast conception of the solar system to the Africanized Egyptians, the creation of art to the Chinese, the highest conception of religion to the Asiatic Semites, and then let Europe rave over the factory system. In this excerpt, W.E.B. Du Bois is saying that we can use education as a means. The white man is saying here that African Americans or the Negro don't have the educational foundation or stability to advance in society. This apparently is not true. If you go overseas, the Europeans have taken the Negro, the African American, and taken him and brought him here to conform him to the factory system. The factory system. And Booker T. Washington is conforming to the white man's idea. Oh yeah, let's start off with trade. W.E.B. Du Bois says, no, let's be a visionary. Let's push this. Obama went to Harvard, graduated from Harvard. Now he's the president of the United States. What can you say to attest to that?
W.E.B. Du Bois once believed that, but by 1952, he abandoned all those thoughts. He went to Ghana to live because he no longer believed these things were possible. He went down there because he kind of felt sorry for himself. Booker T. Washington's ideas were actually proven true, that these small businesses like trade would actually give Negroes a chance in an ever-changing American society. W.E.B. Du Bois, he believed in communism. And in a communist society, one cannot advance past others. Everybody's on the same level. And being on a low level that the black Americans were on, how would they even come to contest with white Americans? How would they prove to get jobs? How would they even make it? Where would they live? Where would they go? So that's why I believe that Booker T. Washington was better, because he actually tried to give black Americans a fighting chance in a war that they were like almost 300 years late to.
In rebuttal, if you read the classwork correctly, you would note that W.E.B. Du Bois was very frustrated with the American system. He reverted to communism after he was not getting any results, or nothing was happening. People were not conforming to his ideas and ways. Thus, he revolted to a communist mindset. Can you continue? Not like 10th grade.
To rebuttal what Asante said, on page 1, on the first page of your classroom package, it was said that ignorant and inexperienced is not strange in the first years of our new life. We begin at the top instead of at the bottom. What this basically means is that, as an idealistic, what the boy was, he believed far more than what was realistic at the time. Booker T. Washington was a realist. African Americans did not have enough skill at the time. It was just a harsh reality. White Americans had 200-year head start, and African Americans were under slavery and oppression, which held them down, didn't give them the same chances. Although there are many Africans and Africans of other areas who had the necessary skills to go and push on through their civilizations and do better, African Americans had not the same chance because they were oppressed for so long. Asante said that we can learn from other civilizations and apply that to our culture. Cultures do not work the same way, and history hasn't shown anything. The ideas that Booker T. Washington had were real. They were realistic and had more chance for real change. And I have one more quote. That's all I have to say.
this is not a measure of who is better. Both historians had great strategies as to how blacks could progress. I'm gonna touch on what the gentleman over there said. He said that W.E.B. Du Bois, he gave up on his people. If you're giving up on your people, why would you go overseas back to another group of black people? He didn't abandon his people. He wasn't satisfied with the change. If anything, us blacks back at that time, we gave up on ourselves because we didn't advocate for the immediate change that he wanted to see. So that's why he left. He also believed in the talented 10, and he believed that if you took a group of talented blacks, he believed that if you took a talented group of blacks, that they could go back to their people and proliferate that knowledge. And that way, as a whole, we would all progress. So this is not an argument of who's better, who's the better educator, who's the better philosopher. This is who had the best strategy to make all of us blacks progress as a people. Thank you.